Hi everybody, and welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library. I'm Dawn, and thank you for coming back to listen to me ramble about books again. So if you're new here, I do a lot of talking. My videos usually run kind of long. So if that's not your bag, I'm really sorry. I've been trying to shorten them a little bit, but I just have a big mouth, so it seems like something we're just going to both have to live with. So today I have, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture last week of the very edges of my Scholastic Book Fair warehouse sale haul, and saying that I was going to also do a giveaway. So that is what I'm doing today. I'm doing that book haul and announcing the giveaway. And then I'll have another book haul up that's books that I've gotten, just other books. But this is specifically the Scholastic Book Fair's warehouse sale. And if you don't know about this, it's, which I don't know how many of you are from the U.S. and I don't know how many places not in the U.S. have these, but Scholastic has book fairs that they set up at elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and the kids can go in and buy books. And in large towns, it's I don't know how much of an impact it makes, but I know I'm from a very rural area, a very small town in Alabama, and the nearest bookstore was about an hour away. And other than, you know, my library, of course I had a library, but the nearest bookstore was about an hour away, so all I had was Walmart, and this was pre-Supercenter days, so it wasn't like a big book department. It was one aisle in a small, regular, old Walmart that was not a Supercenter. So that was the only chance I really had to buy books, unless we just happened to go into Birmingham for something, which we did not do very often. So when the book fair came, it was like Christmas for me. I could go in there, and I spent, you know, way too much. I used to get in trouble because I would take too much time in there and not get back to class when I was supposed to. Yeah. Fun fact about Dawn. So anyway, but the book fair's warehouses are scattered throughout the country, and they are the warehouses that pack the fairs that go to the schools. So I'll leave a link down below. You can go and search. There may be one near you, and the sales don't necessarily run the same dates in every location. The one here in Tallahassee is running May the 16th through the 30th. They're closed on Sundays and Memorial Day, but they are open on the other two Saturdays, which was the 16th and I think the 30th. And everything in the warehouse is stuff that would go to a book fair, and everything in the warehouse is at least 50%, or is at least 20% off. Most things are 50% off. And then some of the newer books are 20% off, but that's still a really good deal. So I think I spent $50, which was more than I meant to spend, but I actually got a lot more than I thought I was going to anyway. And then you also, if you buy $50 worth, you get $10 off your total. And then if you buy $100 worth, you get $25 off your total. So it's a really good deal, and all you have to do is sign up on the website, and they email you the what they call the Fast Pass, which has your coupon code in it, and you can go into the warehouse and shop and things like that. And they usually have them twice a year in May and December, right before school gets out and then before Christmas. And anyway, I'll link it below. You can go check it out. There may be one near you with a sale going on or going on soon. And if you've missed it this time, maybe you can go to the one in December, because it's a lot of fun, especially if you read a lot of young adult or middle grade fiction, or if you're, you know, homeschooler, a librarian, someone who has kids, someone who has a lot of nieces, nephews, friends with kids. This is where I got the majority of my Christmas presents last year. So really cheapness. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the giveaway, not with the giveaway, with the haul. So this book I got for our goddaughter, who is 2, and if you've seen, which I haven't actually posted because somehow I managed to lose the videos that were shot of the rest of my bookshelf tour, so I'm gonna have to reshoot those, but whatever. Anyway, I love Bad Kitty, and you can kind of see them here. This is almost the entire collection of Bad Kitty. So we got this one. This is a new board book. It's got the nice, sturdy, thick pages. We got this for our goddaughter, who's 2, and it's Bad Kitty's Tasty Treats, and it's ABCs, and it's a slide book. So you go through, and it's like, what does Kitty want for breakfast is the thing. And you push down the little thing, and it's an ape. Or Bad Kitty wants a buffalo, you know. So it goes through the alphabet, which I thought was really kind of cool. And it gives them something to play with and interact with, and we give our goddaughter books like constantly, so this will be an excellent addition to her library. Now these two books are for me and my wife because we love Bad Kitty. This is the newest short one. This is Bad Kitty Puppy's Big Day, and as you can see, it's sort of graphic novel-ish, but these are lower, maybe elementary school grade-ish. Honestly don't know what age, maybe middle of elementary school kind of thing, but they're really, really cute. They're sort of set up like graphic novels. They have really nice big pictures, and then, you know, the text and everything, but they're really funny. So I got this one, and then this is the very first Bad Kitty book. This is a picture book, and it's also an alphabet kind of thing. Kitty ate the homework, and Kitty bit grandma, you know. So this is the very, very first Bad Kitty book, and it explains why Kitty was bad and why Kitty has got such an attitude. So super cute. And okay, so this book is because it's a paperback. It's $3.99, so I paid $2 for this. Not a bad deal. Okay, now the rest of these are pretty much young adult and children's, except for two of them. They do have a few adult books, because they do understand that parents and teachers are going to shop at these sales at the school. And this one is Rhett Butler's People by Donald McCaig. And I don't know if this is any good. I haven't really heard one way or the other, but I was always a fan of Gone with the Wind when I was younger, and I read the sequel Scarlet when it first came out. I wasn't real thrilled with it, but I just thought this was kind of interesting. It's following Rhett specifically, so you get to see his life unfold rather than just Scarlet. So then the other adult book I got is one I've been eyeing for a while, and it's Z, a novel of Zelda Fitzgerald. And I went ahead and picked it up because it was half price, of course, and I do love a deal. But I don't know a whole lot about this other than it's about Zelda Fitzgerald, and I do happen to like F. Scott Fitzgerald pretty good bit, and so I just thought that was a really interesting novel. Now the rest of these are young adult and children's books. I finally have a copy of The Book Thief. It's the movie cover. It's the only one they had. I'm not real thrilled with movie covers, but this one's not actually that bad of a movie cover. You wouldn't necessarily know it was a movie cover if you didn't, this wasn't up here and you hadn't seen this before, but I have not read this before now. I know, shock and awe, right? But eventually I'm going to get around to this because now it is going to be sitting on my shelf staring at me. The next book I got is another one I've been really wanting to read, and that's Wonder. I absolutely love this. I got a sheet of stickers from somewhere that says I choose kind with this image on it, and I feel really bad using the stickers without having read them, but having read the book. But it's supposed to be excellent. I've heard nothing but good things about this, so I'm really excited to have a copy. Then I found what is this, the 50th? No, it's not the 50th, is it? Is it the 25th? Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, it's the Puffin Books special anniversary edition of Matilda by Roald Dahl, and I love the cover. It's this hardcover. It doesn't have a book jacket, but it's got the little, drawings all over it, the cake and letters and books, of course. And of course, it's got the illustrations and everything. It's got these really, really bright end papers, which I love. So yeah, and this was, I think I paid like $8. This one I have heard nothing about, so I don't know if it's any good or not, and that's Circus Galacticus by Deva Fagan. And I'll just read the back here. It says, some maniac in a silver gas mask just broke into my dorm room and attacked me with a glowing handful of blue lightning. If there weren't a shattered hockey stick lying in the corner of the room, I think I was going crazy. And then the blurb on the back, reminiscent of such fantasy and sci-fi mainstays as Doctor Who, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Harry Potter. Anything that says that, I'm probably not going to hate, but I will absolutely let you guys know about this once I read it. And if you've read it before, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. Okay, and then this book, The Mighty Miss Malone by Christopher Paul Curtis. And if you've read Bud Not Buddy, which is middle grade, I think, it's historical fiction set during the Great Depression, and it's through these kids' eyes. And I haven't read this one before, but I loved Bud Not Buddy. I read it for my children's literature class a couple of years ago, and this one I've been really needing to pick up and finally did. And then the last one before I talk about the giveaway is Sugar by Jewel Parker Rhodes. And this one I haven't really heard a whole lot about, and I've never read it before. I know it's set on a sugar plantation, and I don't know if it's during slavery or, no, it's just after slavery. And it's about sugar, you know, they live on the plantation. Her name is Sugar, and that's really all I know about it. I picked this up, honestly, because I've read Ninth Ward. Jewel Parker Rhodes wrote a book called Ninth Ward, which was about the Ninth Ward of New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, and it was through the eyes of a young girl, and it was just an amazing book that I won it from a Goodreads giveaway several years ago, and I love, love, love that book. So I recommend it to pretty much anybody who's looking for that age group, because it's just an amazing book. So, oh, and I also got a handful of these pens because, okay, A, their eyes pop out, and that's really adorable, but they're really good pens. So if you have carpal tunnel, this actually is pretty good because the bottom part is really bell-shaped. So it's a little easier to hold. I don't know if you could even see that. It's easier to hold, and I haven't had a whole lot of problems writing with it when I'm taking notes and stuff. So I've got 2 sharks, 2 turtles, 2 pterodactyls, and 2 weird pink fish. I was hoping they'd have more dinosaurs like they did last time because I had a T-Rex and a Stegosaurus and a Triceratops, but they didn't have anything but the pterodactyls. Sadness. Okay, so that is all of the books that I bought for me. So because I absolutely, I mean, I worked for Scholastic for a couple of years. I haven't worked there in a couple of years now, but I love the mission statement of Scholastic is to bring, you know, literacy and to improve literacy for children. And, you know, there are posters up in the main offices when you go into work. It's like, you know, essentially everything you do today can impact the life of the reading life of a child. So, you know, yes, they're a business and they're trying to make money, and that's true, and some people don't necessarily like the book fairs, but the bottom line is that sometimes that's the only time a kid will ever see a book sale. Like, if their parents don't go to bookstores or take them to the library or anything, that may be the only time they get to see a bookstore, especially if they live in small rural areas where there are none. And, you know, if their parents aren't library people and don't take them, you know, their school library, if they have one, and these book fairs may be the only chance they ever have of getting books. And to own a book is a really big deal for a child, especially one who's not used to that. It was a really big deal for me, and we did have books in the house, and reading was encouraged, and it was still like a huge deal for me, being from, you know, a low-income family and everything, to own a book, to say it was mine. I never had to return it to the library. Nobody else had ever read it before me, and it was something that was mine. So I really do love that idea. And with that in mind, I decided to do 2 giveaways. The first one is a set of books that have only been out for a few years, but that I have absolutely loved. And the third one is due out this, I don't know if it's due out this summer or this fall, I can't remember, but that is the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. And right now there are 2. There's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and Hollow City, both by Ransom Riggs. And if you have not, somehow, since you're on BookTube, I don't know how you would have not seen these or heard of these, but if you haven't seen these or heard of these are fantasy-ish, sci-fi. There's a little bit of time travel involved, so, but there's this school, or there's this home for children who have strange abilities. Like, if you can see the cover, she's floating, or it appears that she's floating, and that's the best thing about these books, in my opinion. Even though the story is excellent, all of the pictures in here are pictures that Ransom Riggs has found at flea markets and estate sales and things like that. So these are real pictures, but he's built the lives of the characters around them. So, you know, this girl is a character in the story. She's one of the peculiar children. This girl here is one of the characters in Hollow City. So, like I said, the third one in the novels is coming out this year. They've done a graphic novel adaptation of the first one. I really hope they do the second one because it was a pretty good adaptation. But this is going to be the first giveaway, is this pair of books. And then the second set, I thought it would be really cool to give away 2 books that I really, really loved as a child. So, the first one is Roald Dahl's The BFG. And like, these are just paperback editions, you know, book fair editions. But, you know, they do have the drawings in the front and, you know, and all the pages and everything. So, Roald Dahl's BFG. And then the True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle by Avi. And I read this probably when I was about 10 years old. And Charlotte Doyle is returning home to Rhode Island after school, and she's supposed to be on a ship with these other families, and the families don't show up. So she's on a ship full of sailors in 1832, all by herself. And the captain, it's been a while since I've read this, but if I remember correctly, the captain's a bit of a wacko, and there's a lot of weirdness going on. And this did win the Newbery Honor Medal. I don't remember what year. Terribly sorry, guys. But it did win the Newbery, and it's a really, really good book. So if you've never read this, you should definitely pick this up. So anyway, the 2 giveaways are, first giveaway is for the Ransom Riggs, and the second is for these 2 books, which are 2 of my favorite books that I read when I was a child. And these just happen to be the ones that the Scholastic Book Fair warehouse had. There were a couple of others I could have chosen, but these were the 2 they happened to have, and they just really struck my fancy. So, very simple rules. First, you have to be over 18 or get your parents' permission to give me your address if you win. If you have their permission, you can still enter, that's fine. It's open internationally. And the only requirements are subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment down below telling me what your favorite book as a child was. And I'm going to leave this open, we'll say, let's see, today's the 22nd. So I'm going to leave this open until June the 1st. I don't want to let it run too long because I'll you know, I want to get the books out to people so they can read them. Especially since the Ransom Riggs, the 3rd one, is coming out. So if you've never read it and you really love it, I want you to be able to pick up the 3rd one when it comes out. So I'm going to leave this open until June the 1st. On June the 1st, I'll stop the entries, and I will do either, depending on how many people there are. If there's not a ton of entries, I'll just put your names in a jar, and I'll pull them out on camera so you can see me pull them out of the jar. And if there's a lot of people, I'll just use a random number generator and pick them that way so that everybody does have a fair chance. And like I said, it's international. Just make sure you have permission if you're not over 18. And leave me a comment, subscribe and leave me a comment down below that tells me your favorite children's books. So good luck to everybody. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.